order your teach, and I don't know what this is. Oh, this is dope. This is absolutely dope. Is this a nail kit? Ladies, get this for the fellas. Fellas, don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. This is free. This just comes with it. 30% off your first order plus 20% off for life. Literally. Oh, snaps. I didn't know that they were sending it like this. Real talk. So this is the nail kit that they sending you. All right. So now you ain't looking like a dusty. This is a free gift straight from Tiege for the people that ordered the Tiege. They got the small one for the little hands like mine's. They got the big joints for your toenails. And then they got the joints at the bottom too. You know what I'm saying? For y'all that's a little bit more crustier than usual. All right. So that's one of the free gifts that Tiege got inside of the pack. And then what is this? Says squeeze a quarter-size amount of Tiege Hanley body wash on the center of the wet bristles. Lather, scrub, rinse, and repeat for the perfectly satisfying wash every time. So that's inside of there also, right? Ooh, I can get my rubber ducky on right here. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Tiege for sending me that uncomplicated skincare for men. And then what we got in here? We got the actual Tiege pack, right? So this is the normal Tiege pack, but then they gave me the supersized joint for the people. They wanted me to show the people exactly what they got when they ordered that first Tiege pack, when you're getting your 30% off your first order, and then you get your free gifts. You get 2 free gifts, and then the 20% off for life. So the 20% off for life is a new thing. And, dang, I ain't even got my keys on me to open this up. Maybe I can use the little nail clipper thing. I ain't got to buy no nail clipper for my new joint downtown. And then you get all of the washes, all of the scrubs, all of the AM, the PMs, and all of that stuff. So you got the whole thing inside of there for you to make sure you take care of yourself. But you got to make sure you take care of it every day, right? We don't want to miss days. We don't want to be looking like dusties. It does not absolve you from being able to make sure that you brush your teeth. Brush your teeth. It don't fix the teeth problem. Don't fix you ironing your clothes. Don't fix you being able to take care of your business. But it absolutely makes sure that your skin is phenomenal, even when you go in between shaves. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Tiege Hanley. We absolutely appreciate you. Thank you for continuing to hold us down. I might do an official Tiege commercial, but I like just talking authentically to the people. I like giving the people the authentic look of what it is that you're dealing with, and I want you to hear from me personally, because anybody can do that little pitch and they can make some little videos, but very few of us can actually speak to the products of exactly what it is that you're supposed to use. So yeah, Tiege Hanley, 30% off your first order, and then 20% off for life. That's the Anton Daniels pack, 20% off for life. Using any other Tiege pack, make sure that you go ahead and let that go. And make sure you tap into the link that's in the description and take care of it, all right? What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels. It is Friday, September 13th, 2024, year of our Lord. Shout out to you guys. Hey, have y'all just taken a moment to just say, I'm thankful. I'm thankful. I'm truly thankful. I'm very, very appreciative in this moment right here, right now. A lot of times we get so caught up in the things that we got to do on a daily basis, and it's like, go, 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 go. Go, 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 go. But I'm one of those type of people that like to take a moment out and truly immerse myself in what today's activities are, in every single thing that I do, I'm passionate about. And so I'm not thinking about tomorrow, even though some of the things that I do today may affect what it is that I reap tomorrow. So the seeds that I'm sowing today, and that's just calendar, right? That's just schedule. That's just things that we have to do. But in everything that we do, I'm truly immersed in a moment. So even me talking to you right now as a content creator, right? I don't look at myself as a content creator until I get offline. Until somebody in the streets asks me, what do you do for a living? And I have to make something up. And usually I'll say something like, I do corporate America, or I'm just a programmer, or I just work retail. I'll say anything. The first thing that comes to my head is what I say. Every once in a while I may say, oh, I'm a content creator or something like that. But I know me saying I'm a content creator is then going to foster more questions. Hey, what's your name or whatever. And I don't really like to get into that because I want people to realize that I'm just a regular person just like them. We all just people. We all put on our pants one leg at a time. We all get tired. We all bleed. We all do these things, right? But when I'm on here with you guys, or when I'm on After Hours last night and I'm laughing with my friends, you can see that it's truly organic. And sometimes I forget that it's thousands of people that's watching this every day, thousands of people that's tuning into After Hours every day. It's thousands of people. I don't look at the numbers, you know what I'm saying, until I'm off. I'm just immersing myself in the fact that we here right now, Chat Lives Matters. I love you guys. Shout out to Bobby Sherry, Azriel Sister, Cartel Cookies, Mike Jones, DJ Ace Productions, Big Suggs, Gab, all of them, man. Seriously. Like, I'm never going to change. I'm never going to switch up from who I am. Who I was 2 years ago from a personality perspective, who I was 3 years ago, who I was 7 years ago, I'm the same person that I've always been. I got the same personality that I had in high school. It's just that we grow, right? We grow as far as how we look at things, the information that we take in, all of the people that we surround ourselves with. We want to grow organically, but the core of who we are, as far as being appreciative, living in the moment. This is a moment. Right now at 9:45 a.m. Eastern and then adjusting for whatever your time zone is, we will never get this back. We'll be able to replay it. We'll be able to watch it. But when we laugh at something or I joke at something or I notice a cute, newscaster or something like that, I'll never be able to relive that moment. So I'm always in the moment. And I want to encourage you guys to live in the moment. Like, enjoy that. Even when you suffering, even when you're going through something, know that you'll never get that back again. And you're going to look back and be like, man, that was so stupid. You know what I'm saying? So I wake up with joy in my heart and I wake up laughing. I woke up this morning and I was cracking up and I could not understand why. My daughter comes into the room and she like, what is wrong with you? And so she just started laughing because it's infectious and that sweet spirit and that good spirit just extends over. And I'm like, Les, you about to go out of town. You about to go to a different country again this afternoon. Have you realized how awesome that is? And we just took a moment and we took it in. And so, it's always better to live in the moment. And that's why it's called the present. It's truly a gift. We don't know what happened yesterday. We don't even care. It's a learning experience. What's happening tomorrow is not guaranteed, but more importantly, it's to come. I don't want to live that twice. I want to live in that moment. And so anything that I do, or anybody that I embrace, when y'all see me in the streets and y'all kick it with me and we have genuine conversation like we've been friends for the last 10 years, that's because I truly am interested in what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? So I love it. I love it. I love you guys. I am always appreciative. I know I always say it. I always say I appreciate you guys and you guys are the greatest audience on earth, but I do. I genuinely do. I mean, this stuff that we talking about, the popular culture stuff and all of that, yeah, I know we got to talk about it. I know that that's a part of what it is that we do on a daily basis, but in reality, it's not even about the stuff. It's about us. We come here to have a good time. And then the stuff is extra. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we going to have fun no matter where we at. Whether we at a Patreon meetup, whether we right here, whether we on After Hours or Anton Daniels channel, we going to laugh, we going to joke, we going to play. And this is our playground. This earth is our playground. Our home is where we lay our head. It ain't the house that we go down to. The church is not a building. The church is here, wherever it is that we have in service. Right? Fun is where it is, wherever it is that we go. We're going to infect the world with greatness, fun, good, sweet-spirited, all of that good stuff. We're going to have a good time. We're going to hold each other accountable. We're going to laugh. We're going to cry. We're going to play. We're going to have moments. But more importantly, we have each other. And that's what makes us unique. That's what makes us special. That's what makes us bag chasers. That's what makes us who we are. I'm appreciative. I'm thankful. I thank God for you guys. I pray for y'all. And I'm truly, truly in love with what it is that we've built and put together because without you, it's no me. So I just want to let y'all know that on a Friday, on the 13th, I know that they say it's Friday the 13th. So Jason, nah, this is our day. It's chasers. That's all we do. We go chase greatness. We chase happiness. We chase love. We chase growth. And then the money comes with it. In that bag, all right? is bag chasers. But inside of that bag is all of the things that ultimately lead to happiness, growth, and prosperity. The money comes with it. When I say bag chasers, I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about all of the things that ultimately money comes with. We don't got to chase the money. We chase the product. We chase growth. We chase greatness. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and everything else will be added unto you. God bless y'all. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all ready to get to the money? Y'all ready to get to it? I'm excited. Yo, we never miss. We get to it. We love. We appreciate each other. It is an awesome, awesome day. You have another opportunity to do great things. What you gonna do with it? What you gonna do with it? Let's get it, y'all. Let me read some of the super chats, and then we're gonna go ahead and get started with the show. Shout out to Slim Jimmy. He says, appreciate the work that you do, Anton. Nah, I appreciate you, big dog. And let me let y'all know, y'all don't have to do this. The only thing I ask for is a like for the algorithm. And if you find what it is that we do, if you hear more than once or twice, if it's your third time here, then you should be subscribed, and you definitely should be turning on your notifications. But you don't have to send a super chat. You don't have to send a cash app. We do appreciate it, and we always gonna highlight it, but it's not something that I ever ask for, but it's something that I like to acknowledge. So thank you, Slim Jimmy. I appreciate you. P. Shank in the building with her consistent self. Says, good morning, Mr. Anton Daniels in the Millionaire Morning Show. Thank you, P. Shank. I appreciate you. Turd Fergberg in the building says, morning, AD, I count my blessings every day. Happy Friday. The house you building looks fire. Oh, y'all seen that? Yeah, it's on the other channel. Patreon members, I'm going to give y'all the exclusive on all of the stuff that we built and how it is that we doing it. Breaking it down line by line. We just giving them a little summary. You know what I'm saying? Annie Marie says, appreciate everyone at the Millionaire Morning Show. What up, Annie? What up, Annie? What up, Annie? Chat for Morris in the building says, good morning. Checked out your first Millionaire Morning Show. The message still resonates to this day. Can you bring back the Thanos mug and a gold mic for a limited time? I still got it, too. Wealth Building Journey says, yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Shout out to the Wealth Building Journey. Cody Marshall in the building says, Trump not taxing on overtime? We gonna get to it. Man, I need that. I'm from New Orleans and I work in the service industry. I'll take that for $500, Alex. Let's get it. Hank, what up? Hank Woodmore in the building. Hank says, good morning, my brother AD. Salute to you. Do you believe the migrants taking plant jobs that affect Michigan as well? I do. Working plant jobs for majority of my 20s, this could be crucial to the inner cities. It's going to be a whole new voter base, a whole new block. Self-Made Forever says, Bag Chaser Friday. AD, did you know that if Flight 93 would have hit the Capitol back on 9/11, Pence and Biden were both there on that day and may not have made it as VP and president. Now, I don't even believe that would ever be true because I believe that 9/11 went along a little bit differently than everybody else do. So that's just my assumption. Chase Barnes says, happy Friday, AD and peeps, even though you still be fumbling the correct pronunciation of my word. Oh, Chaz. Chaz. I'm sorry. Mr. Barnes. I definitely appreciate that energy, high-level focus, the show that you bring to us each day. Don't hold it against me, man. I'm a C student. I'm a little slow sometimes. I don't always get it right, but my intentions are good, you know? My intentions, I mean well. I definitely mean well. Shout out to Chase. I appreciate you. Let me acknowledge some of the cash apps. ESDC in the building. Shout out to my dog, ESDC, and Mike that dude. I appreciate you, Mike that dude. Thank y'all for holding me down. All right, y'all. What y'all say? We get ready with the show? Let's get into it. You know we got to hit quick hits first, right? Quick hits. I see you, Mr. Lott. I'm going to get to that. Quick hits. Segment of the show where we don't necessarily think that we need to highlight each individual on its own segment, but we definitely want to keep y'all in the loop of what's going on out in these streets, man. All right. First things first. A 72-year-old claims self-defense in a road rage incident. Check it out.
Crime in a quiet East Bay community. Neighbors in Orinda say an instance of road rage ended in a deadly shooting. They also say a 72-year-old man pulled the trigger. KTVU's Henry Lee is live in Orinda with the latest on this investigation. Henry?
Well, police are just about ready to clear this crime scene. They've been here all day. Now, investigators have not yet said exactly what led up to the shooting between two Orinda residents. But neighbors tell us this was a case of road rage. Skyfox was overhead after a deadly shooting in Orinda Thursday that neighbors say was the result of road rage.
I mean, this is like in my neighborhood, and I'm like, wow, it's everywhere.
There was some kind of rolling dispute that ended in a confrontation at Las Vegas Road and La Spiro Road involving the drivers of this Toyota 4Runner and a Tesla. Sean James lives in the neighborhood.
I heard a loud bang, and my first thought was, okay, gun. Then I thought, no way. I thought maybe it's just like a tire blew.
The Tesla is owned by a 72-year-old man who lives nearby. I've learned the Tesla driver called police, saying he shot the Toyota driver in self-defense after the man got out of his SUV and punched him. Police would not discuss what led up to the shooting, but officers detained the 72-year-old man and recovered the gun. Throughout the day, there was a large police presence here in the La Miranda area, with Lafayette, Moraga, and Orinda officers all responding, as well as investigators from the Contra Costa County Sheriff's Office, which provides police services in Orinda. Crime scene investigators and detectives spent hours combing the scene for evidence.
Really scary. I mean, this never really happens here. I feel this town's really safe.
In my head, I'm asking the question, what would it take for somebody to get that upset to shoot somebody?
Self-defense that one uses has to be proportionate to the attack.
KTVU legal analyst Michael Cardoza says investigators will have to carefully weigh the shooter's claim of self-defense.
These cases are factually driven. A person who is attacked has to feel an imminent fear that his life is going to be taken or he's going to suffer great bodily injury.
And that's what they always tell us when we ever go to these gun classes. And that's what I be trying to tell people a lot of times. Just because you have a pistol or just because you have a license to carry does not mean that you have the ability to be able to take somebody's life. You have to feel like your life is in imminent danger or you're going to be absolutely maimed and injured if you are going to pull that pistol. One thing I know about those Teslas is that a lot of them have cameras that are rolling 100% of the time. So maybe they'll pull some of that footage, and I'm not sure if some of that footage was captured. Maybe they'll pull some of that footage in order to substantiate his claim. But at the same time, listen, bro, I always encourage people to walk away from different things that is happening. And so if anything is going on in your life, or if it's any possibility of you getting into a scrap or something like that, put your ego aside, walk away. Dude should have never even got out of the car in the first place. So I'll keep an eye on this in order to let you know what goes on with it. In addition to that, a 4.7 earthquake hit Southern California amid record-breaking seismic activity. Let's get to it.
Southern California, the latest quake in what's been a record year of quakes 4.0 or higher. This one, a 4.7, centered near Malibu, felt by millions up to 60 miles away, followed by multiple aftershocks. ABC's Kana Whitworth is in Malibu Canyon tonight. That's right near the epicenter.
Tonight, a 4.7 magnitude earthquake rattling millions in Southern California.
Felt like God was holding our house and shaking it and saying, get out.
Our Los Angeles station KABC.
Oh, we got an earthquake.
Live streaming when it hit.
We're shaking pretty good.
And at this cafe in Malibu,
it felt like it was the big one for a moment.
Cashier Rosa Sanchez getting an emergency alert.
I got a message on my phone saying that there was an earthquake happening, to drop and cover.
And listen to how it sounded on this home security camera in Oak Park. Cameras capturing the moment a bald eagle soars, startled by the shaking. Officials say the epicenter was near Malibu, but the quake felt 60 miles away. Doctors at Providence St. John's tell us an alert system warned surgeons of the coming quake.
You want to make sure the patient is secure. You need to cover the patient with your body and protect their head.
And David, you can see these hillsides right here. Authorities tell me that they are prime for worst case scenario. And this year has been a record breaking year in terms of seismic activity. But so far, David, no major injuries or damage to report.
Let me ask y'all a question. Do y'all think that California is under siege by God? You know what I'm saying? Forest fires, mudslides, earthquake, record-breaking seismic activity just happening. It's almost like it's almost like it's a warning of what's to come for California. Like, yeah, the big one is coming. It's coming. We're going to break this whole state off from the rest of the United States of America. It's coming. Like, why would somebody actually move permanently, like take all of their belongings? And I'm just curious for all of my people that's on the West Coast. Why would everybody take all of their belongings and say, you know what, I'm going to move it to California and wait for the big one, or wait for my house to get burned down, or wait for some rocks on a mudslide as I'm going around the hills, just come on and follow my car? Like, bruh, it seems Like, like it's a warning all over California. Like, yo, this state is so demonic that we're going to go ahead and just hit it with the San Andreas, The Rock 2 movie, and we're going to make that happen in real time. So shout out to California, man. Like, it's weird. It's weird. Anyways, and then last but not least, 3 charges related to Donald Trump's indictment down in Fulton County with Fani Willis is being dropped. More charges is being dropped, obviously.
Trump is rallying in the battleground state of Arizona tonight. This, as major breaking news comes from the Fulton County District Attorney's Office. 2 criminal charges against former President Trump in the Georgia indictment dismissed by a judge.
Atlanta News First political reporter Doug Reardon is live outside of the Fulton County Courthouse tonight. Doug?
Well, good evening to you both. It was Judge Scott McAfee who has been overseeing this case from the very beginning, dropping 3 charges from the entire indictment tonight. Some people in that indictment faced all 3. Donald Trump faced 2 of them. They were perjury charges, so lying in court. And McAfee said that because Trump is a federal official, or at least was at the time, and because these charges are dealing with a federal election, he does not have the jurisdiction to prosecute those particular charges. And so he came out with a very lengthy statement today. I'll read you just part of what he said. He said, quote, because counts 14, 15, and 27 lie beyond this state's jurisdiction and must be quashed, the defendant's motions to dismiss the indictment under the Supremacy Clause are granted in part. Supremacy Clause says that federal law trumps state or local law. Lawyers for defendants in this case, including Trump's, have been trying to get the entire case dismissed, so this was a big partial win for them. And while Trump still faces a handful of very serious charges here in Fulton County, this isn't the first win for his legal team. He started the case with 13 charges against him. 3 were dropped back in March, and 2 more were dropped, of course, again today. Now, the case is really slowed to a crawl here after it was revealed that District Attorney Fani Willis was involved in a romantic relationship with one of the top prosecutors, Nathan Wade. The defense argued to remove her from the case. That decision is now in the hands of a state appeals court who will hear it in December, 1 month after the November general election.
So another win for the Trump administration. This case is completely falling apart, yet we're still spending tax dollars to prosecute something that never should have been brought forth in the first place. And so I look forward to the continued growth of this, and that we're going to continue to expose and throw all of this away, and it's all a waste of time, like we already know. But, ladies and gentlemen, that is your Quick Hits. All right, so somebody is saying, and there's a lot of people that's been sending me that. I'm actually going to search for the video. Let me write that down while I'm thinking about it. Let me put it in my notes. ABC questions. They're saying that she got questions from ABC prior to. I'm going to do a little bit of investigating. So before I actually report on it, or before I do any reaction video to it, I need to make sure that it's actually true. In the meantime, let's switch gears for a minute and let's talk about Trump's recent announcement, right? So Trump recently announced that there will be no tax on overtime, and the crowd absolutely went crazy. The crowd absolutely went crazy. Check it out. This was his announcement. I believe it was in, I'm not sure what state it was in.
Today, I'm also announcing that as part of our additional tax cuts, we will end all taxes on overtime. You know what that means? Think of that. Think of that. Think of that.
Do you see them screams? Do you hear those screams? Let me replay that again so you can really live in the moment and capture what it is that he just said.
Also announcing that as part of our additional tax cuts, we will end all taxes on overtime. You know what that means? Think of that.
Now that's sheer joy. That's real relief from the people. When they erupt like that, with no microphone on the crowd in order to capture it, you just hear it organically. Now that's real joy.
Think of that. Think of that. That gives people more of an incentive to work. It gives the companies it's a lot easier to get the people. And, you know, I went to some economists, great ones, and I said, what do you think? They said, it would be unbelievable. You'll get a whole new workforce by doing that. No taxes on overtime. The people who work overtime are among the hardest working citizens in our country. And for too long, no one in Washington has been looking out for them. Those are the people. They really work. They're police officers, nurses, factory workers, construction workers, truck drivers, and machine operators. It's time for the working man and woman to finally catch a break, and that's what we're doing because this is a good one. And I think it's going to be great for the country. So that's why we will be saying that if you're an overtime worker when you're past 40 hours a week, think of that. Your overtime hours will be tax-free. Okay? Good? You're going to have it, too. And unlike Biden, where he tells you that you don't have to pay your school tuition and he gets rejected, then he goes again and again. Now it's totally gone. Or as they say in politics, it's debunked. It's gone. That was terrible. You know, he kept saying to these students, no more loans, no more loans, which was very unfair to the millions of people that actually paid off their loans over the years. Some of them took 20 years to pay them off. But that's a dead deal. That's totally dead. You know, they tried to revive it 2 weeks ago. That didn't work out too well. That's a totally dead deal. But these will be three things that will get done. So if you think about no tax on tips, think of that. Think about this. And the Social Security for our seniors, because the seniors have been destroyed by inflation. It's unfair. And this is like a whole new life for them, because you're talking about a lot of money. So no tax on Social Securities for our great seniors. And this last one is no tax. You work your ass off, no tax on overtime. And that's so good for the employers. One of our economists said, I think that's actually going to bring money into our economy. You know, when I cut taxes, we had the largest tax cut in history. And when I cut taxes with a much lower rate the following year, we took in more money than we ever took in with a much higher rate. People.
So let me stop right here and let me break this down for y'all and why this is a real solution to a problem. And then we're going to combine it with some of the things that he said previously. One of the things that he said before was, listen, guys, the first thing that we need to do is we need to stop these wars overseas so we can bring the money back into the United States of America. Number one. Number two, he said we need to audit the federal government on every level because the waste and the spending that is happening is egregious. And I don't know anybody, whether you on the Democratic side or the Republican side, that would disagree with the idea of auditing the federal government while they spending your tax dollars recklessly and continuing to tax you. Middle class paying for it the most. Number three, he said no taxing on tips, which Kamala Harris stole. Social Security, because most people are on a fixed income. And overtime. Now, what does this do? Combined with the previous Trump tax cuts. Well, what it does is the previous tax cuts, like he just indicated, it incentivized companies to spend more money and to bring more money from overseas that they was keeping off of American shores so that it wouldn't get taxed. And it incentivized them to bring it back home at a lower tax rate. And then it spurred a boom in the economy, which is one of the reasons why you had everybody rejoicing and making more money and paying on average at least $1,000 less in taxes, and then depending on how much more money you made, you pay less in taxes. Now he's saying we don't need to have immigrants come in here and take low-paying jobs and then endear them to the Democratic Party by allowing them undocumented illegally. And I'm for immigration legally, but I'm not for immigration illegally. We don't need to have these people coming in endearing themselves to the Democratic Party by now saying, oh man, we got new opportunity. And then them replacing you. What we need to do is incentivize companies and incentivize workers to become more engulfed in what it is that we have going on here in the United States of America. So how can we do that while at the same time increasing productivity, lowering the cost for American families, real middle-class families, and having people, if they want to, really be able to achieve the American dream? Well, once you get past a certain threshold, the government shouldn't continue to have its hand in your pocket even more. And any of y'all, which the overwhelming majority of us have all worked regular jobs. Me, myself, personally, I used to work in a steel mill, and we would work as much as we could. 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, most weeks. And we would get destroyed with taxes because, see, back then we actually got a regular check. We still had direct deposit, but I would get that check, right? And it wasn't an electronic, it was this is not a check or whatever, so on and so forth. And you look at it, you're like, man, I worked all of this time. All right, I'm going to just go out here and kill myself a little bit more. Well, at least you need to be rewarded for it. And so what he's saying is you get through that 40 and you really increase productivity. But at the same time, when you're trading your time for money, it's not the government that's saying, thank you for your service. This is one of the most groundbreaking pieces of policy that I have ever heard from a president in my entire life. It removes the excuses. Nobody can say all it doesn't matter. And what it does is it innovatively solves for multiple different problems at the same time. And this is why you need people that is not a part of the establishment, because somebody like a Kamala Harris and a Tim Walz, who combined has zero private working experience. They've always been paid by taxpayers. They know nothing about doing things from a business perspective, which is one of the reasons why all of their policies are so hollow. And you can only expect to have the same thing that you've had over the last 3.5 years. We don't want the government hand over our lives any more than to enable us to be able to achieve the American dream and to protect our borders, which is the things that we pay taxes for. We pay taxes so that we can then protect our borders, make sure that our military protects us from foreign invasion, and then also to ensure that we have the infrastructure needed to make sure that we can go out and do whatever we want to do when we want to do it. Yeah, we got to pay a little bit more in order to have good schools. Yeah, we got to pay a little bit more in order to keep ourselves safe with the police. But other than that, the government is bloated. And they think that they can solve a problem by keep on increasing taxes and reaching in our pockets. And what Trump is basically giving you is literally a blueprint for what it is that we need to do in order to solve for the problems that's happening in our society. And what it also does, the repercussions of it, it also forces the federal government and these local municipalities to start managing the budget more effectively. You can't just keep on giving all of our money away to illegal immigrants. You can't just keep on going to the well. You can't just keep on raising taxes. Nope. Lower your salary, lower your budget, and do the same thing that any other business would do and any other small business would do. You run lean, you run efficient, and you do what you have to do, not what it is that you feel like you want to do. You don't take our money and start building ice rinks. You can't start giving our money to all of these businesses in order to just keep them inside of it. No, now the businesses have an incentive in order to keep themselves there because they get the tax breaks, the middle class get the tax breaks. And so now you have to start operating more efficiently with the budget. Basic services, trash pickup, schools, infrastructure, and safety. All of this other bull crap need to go. All of it. We need to just wipe the slate completely clean and let it go. All of this other stuff that they got in this budget needs to be wiped clean, and it forces them to start being accountable for the things that they're doing. You can't just take our money and give it over to illegal migrants. You can't just take it and give them health care. You can't just take it and let them go into our schools. You can't just take it and then give them free hotels for life. You can't just take $165 million and build a homeless structure to the tune of $600,000 per unit. No, now you got to start being accountable for how you manage the budget. And we don't put enough pressure on our legislators and find the right legislators instead of school teachers, Brandon Johnson, who know how to manage the budget effectively because they've never had any private experience in the first place. Why would we elect school teachers and activists to run multi-billion-dollar budgets? Why would you elect a police captain to run hundreds of billions of dollars a year over there in New York? Why would you elect a Tiffany Henyard to go over there and run Thornton Township and Dalton? Why would you elect Gavin Newsom to go and give all of y'all money away over to people that's not even supposed to be here? And what they did and what they thought was they was going to replace your vote by letting all of these people inside of the country illegally under the guise of, oh, they're asylum seekers. No, these are opportunists. And if they really wanted to solve for the problem, then they would solve it in their own country like we are forced to do. We forced to just face the consequences of our actions. That's it. Cook County, they raise the taxes. You just got to suffer it out. You got to deal with it until you get out the person that you voted in. We just got to suffer it out. But they can go and they can say, you know what? Open border, USA, USA. And then they become so entitled. They become so entitled to where they going to sit here and tell us, listen, man, you better get on board or we ain't going to vote for you. I'm sorry. When did you start getting rights and the opportunity to be able to tell us what we're going to do in our own country? What? What? Who is you? You's a guest. You a guest. That's like you letting somebody stay in your crib temporarily and then all of a sudden they're going to start telling you not what you're going to do with your own refrigerator. What'd you say to me? Y'all ever had somebody that come over and visit your house and then they start walking over your carpet with their shoes on when it's a sign by the door that say, take your shoes off when you get in here? I'm sorry, who you talking to? Who you talking to? At some point, we got to take this country back, and they keep saying, no, a new way forward. No. You know what my people taught me? We had a lot of disagreements, but it's some things that we absolutely agreed on. You know what my people taught me? Whenever people would be getting out of order, whether it be in church or the family or whatever, Dad would call the whole people, all the uncles would get together. Hey. This is what they would do. Hey, all right, listen, y'all. Yeah, I see y'all. Y'all was having a little party. She went out there. She decided that she wanted to be for the streets, but we're going to get back to the core of who we are. Let's not forget who you are. They will remind us, okay, listen, I see you've been hanging with your little friends. You got a little freedom and you can't control yourself. Let me take you back to what it is that we do at the core. Because don't forget where you come from. Don't forget who you are. Don't forget what we taught you. We don't want to do a new way forward. You know why? Because a new way forward is giving you pain, destruction, evil, and that's the reason why y'all keep having these earthquakes and all of these mudslides and these forest fires, and you keep having all of your neighborhoods overran by gangs and people ain't doing what they supposed to do. Now, we need to get back to the core of what made us great in the first place, because we don't even know who we are anymore. We so weak. We so liberal. We so weak, we so liberal, everybody can do what they want to. Everybody is a fairy. You could just wake up and be whatever you want to be tomorrow. Oh. He a grown man. This man is a grown man. He got white chest hair, which means that he been around for at least 50 to 60 years. His whole chest is white. He got white beady beads on his chest. And he's saying, you know what? I want to be a little girl today. Nah. No more. It's over. Party is over. We let you be out here being a fairy for too long. You put on your butterfly wings. You put your leotard on. And just because you had a little penis don't mean that you got a coochie. Somebody give me some water. Let me get some water. Oh, I'm a girl. No. Work with what you got to get what you want. Just because this Friday, right? Is this Friday? Is it Friday? Can we get serious for a moment? Or are we all going to sit here and play games? We going to play games or we going to get serious? Just because your penis is little don't mean that you a girl. You just got a little penis. And it ain't nothing wrong with that. That's what he gave you. Work with what you got. Get your tongue action on. Do whatever you got to do. Make it motion in the ocean more. I don't know. I don't have that problem. But the point that I'm making is that you can't go and use the girl's bathroom just because your penis is what it is. That's the way that God made you. Embrace it. We going to get back to the core of what we going to do, or we going to sit here and play games? We tired of the government just keep on reaching in our pocket. We tired of this. What you talking about, Willis? We don't want a new way forward. We want to go back to the core of what made us great in the first place. No more games. No more playing. No more pretending. No more pretending. You a grown man with white BDBs on your chest. Get it together. Go to work. That's what men do. He got to incentivize you just to go to work. Hey, man, no more taxes on overtime. All right, we're going to go to work right now. Real policy. Thank you, Trump. Thank you for draining the swamp and getting back to the core of it. And let me say something else before we get to the next part of the show. All of you men that look for women in leadership, you weak. All of y'all. You weak. Men that look to leadership, look for women that actively say, I want her as my leader. You are a weak man. I'm telling you right here, right now, you are weak. Get off of your mama's nipple. Stop letting your mama respect your parents, but that don't mean that you are to forge your own path. That's why your girl don't respect you, because you keep on asking her, what you want to do? What do you think we should do? Where should we go to eat? Women crave leadership. They crave being submissive. It's the core of what they are. I don't want no woman lead me. Can't no woman tell me what to do. What you talking about? I want a woman to lead me. Keep on being dominated inside it. Let me be quiet. Let's get to it, y'all. Let's get to it. Real men stand back up. Real men stand back up. It ain't a woman that's in the chat right now that will tell you at her core that she don't want a strong man to take that burden off of her. Why would you look for a woman to go and stand in front of the world's leaders? These world leaders will execute a dude that don't. I heard that Kim Jong-un executed a guy or executed a part of his administration because they wasn't prepared for natural disasters that hit their country. You think I'm going to stand a woman up in front of him? Get out of here with that. I want a woman to lead me. Y'all keep standing in front of y'all wives just because she look at you funny every time a reporter coming up. Who are you voting for? You look to your wife. Kamala. Happy wife, happy life. Happy wife, happy life. You boomers and you Xers then ruined this country. So feminine. Let the devil just completely use you up. And it start with the music. It start with the things that you listening to. Y'all keep going to these parties. Man, look, bro, I went out to a festival last weekend, and all I seen, and I call it out. I say what I mean, and I mean what I say. You can say what you want to say, but don't say that I ain't telling you the real. All I seen was a bunch of men, grown men, above the age of 40. All of them were feminine. Keep on making an excuse. It's the electronic music. The DJ playing the music. All I see is men holding hands like fairies. Oh, I'm feeling the music. You too old. You too old to be feeling the music and falling into your femininity. This is who I am. Take that leather Fonzie jacket off and pick your balls up. Jesus. I was looking at Rita. I said, did I outgrow? What's going on here? All I see is dudes in the background doing like this. Man, pick your balls up. Holding hands with each other. I said, what is wrong with all of these? Majority white men. Majority white men. Why are these dudes so enthralled with the music? Why is it taking them over and getting them into their femininity? See dudes pumping up against other dudes' butts. Hey, well, Kamala. These boomers and these Xers is different. This is a different group of men. A different group of men. And all of the black men, all of the boule men. Let's get to it. All of these boule men. All of them, the ones that y'all love the most, the ones that y'all adore. Why are all of their sons feminine? You know, I respect my son for who he is and the choices that he's making. Why are all of these boule men, all of y'all divine 9 men, why are all of y'all sons feminine? You cursed. You cursed. Why are all of y'all sons feminine? All of these men on TV, if they haven't wear a dress, they sons wear a dress. Judge Greg Mathis, all of them, all of their sons are feminine. They cursed, and you following them. Don't let me get in my bag, dog. Don't let me get, all of your leaders, if they ain't put on a dress, all of these black men, if they ain't put on a dress, they son got them on. They cursed. They families are cursed. Keep on being on TV with their big selves. Nigga, you 6'9". You laying on your stomach and you 6'9"? Come on, dog. Y'all gonna wake up or what? All of your leaders, oh, we all of a part of the Greek. Don't you understand how gay the Greeks were? They like little boys. We follow the Greeks. Let's go and get in a circle jerk. That's why they so afraid to stand up for themselves. Up there telling jokes. Why y'all all following comedians? Hey, I will cap on your crown. Hey, I don't like your neck. Okay, all right, that joke is dead. The only real one that was a part of that group anyway was Bernie Mac. Y'all killed him off. Bernie Mac was the only one worth listening to. We brothers. A bunch of simps, step baby daddies with feminine sons that's willing to put on a dress in order to tell a joke. And y'all following them. This is your leader. Let me read some of these super chats and let's move over to the next part of the show. I'm sorry. Sometimes I get into a little bit of a rant and we go into it. Sometimes we get into a little bit of a rant and we get into it. Ain't have no thought of their own. Half of them only joined when they was in college because they couldn't get no box. Niggas got one. There's 50. They 50 with cornrows in their head. 50 with cornrows in their head. I'm going to get some braids so they can look like they daughters. And y'all following these suckers. Following them. Following them? Get out of here with that, bro. Shout out to Mr. Lott. I appreciate you. Says salute, we doing the work. Jesus Edge Christ said, happy Friday. I finally moved out of California to the Midwest. Can't believe I'm paying $2.85 for gas. Welcome. Eric Harris in the building says, no tax on overtime. I'm getting a new Hellcat. Pookie's friend Ray Ray says, how my child support pay for itself if y'all ain't going to get that overtime tax? Fryman says, we need overtime for the truck drivers. Bird in the building says, I'm already at $60,000. Or 60K of this overtime. If we had Trump's policies, I'd be good. BM says, the hell divers, 2 memes that will happen to this are rare, are going to be lit. Mars is in the building, says Trump is in his 80s Democrat working class bag. Jay Ben says, how many days until Mystique announces a copy and paste? You know she gonna steal it. Brian Baker says, I will use that money and go out and spend it if it's true. Darth Smidius is in the building, says, I'd max my 401k and invest. Look at y'all. Y'all already looking at the opportunities. That's a real opportunity economy. Snap Mobile Solution says no tax on overtime will be super powerful for me personally. I work 84 hours a week sometimes, and it kills me when I see the taxes they take out. Crazy that nobody has said this before. Idris Singleton says, hey, Anton, what do you think about no tax if you work a second job? I always thought that would be a good policy. Personally, of course, it would be lower income job. Income, not hours work. It could be interesting. But I don't think that you ever going to get a conversation with Kamala Harris if y'all decide to vote her in. Just boarded my flight, but we got Wi-Fi, so we tap in. DFW to ATL. Shout out to my people over there in Dallas and Atlanta. I'm coming through, Atlanta. I'll announce it soon. Trisidential says, I'm advocating for no tax on our annual bonuses. The O-Team thing is huge. King of Kings in the building says, did you see Biden wear the Trump hat? Did a whole video on it yesterday. Shout out to Artifacts for the super sticker. Mars says Trump got an Ivy League degree in econ. I trust him. Moose O'Brien says, I currently stop working overtime when I reach a certain amount of hours because of taxes. He changed that. I'm never leaving work. Shout out to Trump. James Donald in the building says they should be doing single issue bills in Congress anyway, so they can't hide their bloated spending. Tax Smith in the building says, Anton out here cooking up people's entire worldviews today, and I just got here. MB Bit, man, I'm so lit. I just want to get to it. MB Bit says, here's a platform to run on, dead the Fed, the Federal Reserve. Get back to sound money. That's what made America great. It's what made every empire great. Health and Wellness says, I got you with the super sticker. Thank you for the super sticker. High Tolerance says, facts AD, hopefully this self-emasculation talk will have men reconsider how they vote on a local front with these women in the judicial system. Mass Man says, cook ninja cook. Ryan J says, because of the soy that they put in the food, the fluoride in the water is what's making men feminine. No, that's their fathers. Delta Fox says they recently executed a guy in North Korea for dancing to K-pop. They want manly men and they're not going to take Scamala seriously. Big CP says, just had this conversation with my uncle, father, and sister last night, but I was the crazy one. Sometimes we the right ones. Pine Saw Limison says, AD, you finna have beef. You have to beef up the security for the show. I ain't worried about it. God got me. Ash says, AD, our Generation Boomers and Generation Xers has a lot of simps and are submissive to the matriarchal black woman. You see it in black churches, in a home, and in the community at large. You are speaking facts. Shout out to my dog, Ash. Aaron218 says, no tax on overtime. Yeah, AI taking most of the jobs. Chris B says, unfortunately, the cuckoldry in this country is real. We need real men to run this country. We need to bring back order and structure. Eric M says, these rents will get you your $10 million. I wish I wasn't salary. Sheesh. Shout out to you. My dog, Tony Williams, says, you hurting feelings this morning. I'm tired of these old men. Alabama already had no tax on overtime. Shout out to Daniel Shaw. Warehouse workers going to be lit now. Ash is in the building again, says, AD, one more fact about the boomers and Gen Xers. We are also the stepdaddy generation, Gen Z. Don't do it. Don't do it. High Tolerance says, black women in church did their boys a disservice by having them walk their Bibles and purse to choir box. Majority of them are now full-blown fairies. Young Haiti in the building says, good morning, AD, no tax on overtime. If Trump get elected, you still dusty, that your problem. Run that bag up. Jonathan Gonzalez says, say the cats. They want y'all to be so weak. They want y'all to be so weak. They want y'all to be so weak. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Will the real men stand up? Will the real men stand up? I got to control myself. I got to control myself, yo. Because I'm feeling something today. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling something. I feel like it's a message that needs to be sent out to y'all today. It's a real message that needs to be sent out to the people today. And the message is, we no longer tolerating these suckers. When did we start letting lames run the school? When did we start letting fairies tell us what to do? I know what it is. I know what it is. Y'all got too rich. That's what it is. You got too rich. You got too much money. Because when you got too much money, you lost the core of who you are. Because money will ruin you. Money will make you fearful. because you came up broke. But see, it's a different mentality from people like me, right? Because the way that I look at money is a tool. And so the thing that I learned when I was coming up was the fact that I went through it mean that you can't do nothing to me. Because the worst you can do is take me back to where I came from. I already been through it. I already suffered. That's the benefit of not having nothing and coming up. See, when you already get it, it's two things that happen to you if you already got it and you coddle, especially as a man. I'm talking to my guys right now. It's two things that happen, right? If your daddy spoiled you, and I remember I was having a conversation with somebody that called into the platform and he said, Anton, I'm looking to buy my son a car. And I said, don't do it. You can get it for your daughter, but don't get it for your son. He says, why? I don't want him to go through the same things that I went through. I said, let me help you to understand something. Suffering is what creates great men. We got to go through it, whether it's in a controlled environment or whether you're going to get to a space where the world is going to force you to deal with it because there is no safety net. And so now what we have is a lot of guys that went through all of this generational trauma with their mamas, and so they trying to protect their sons from having to go through it. It's a rite of passage to have to prove yourself. It's a rite of passage to have to prove yourself, not be coddled. To have to really get to it and prove that you are worthy of a wife, that you are worthy of being able to carry the legacy of your father, that you are worthy of being able to be a person that is really, really in their bag and can lead the community. But we so weak, we so scary, and that's why all of the men are so weak nowadays. You afraid to stand up for something because you got rich. You got money, you got rich, and you got your whole priorities, and everything that you was compromised. It's compromised now because you're so afraid to lose something. But you got to be willing to risk everything in order to be successful. And that's why y'all so enthralled with being middle class. I've never seen so many men that say, oh man, I'm okay with being normal. That's not manly, that's feminine. Feminine is okay with being okay. That's a feminine female trait. If your father never told you, let me be the uncle for you. That's a feminine female trait to want to be okay. As men, we should want to conquer everything. It's the reason why, and it doesn't necessarily justify it for being right, but it's the reason why men go and seek other women. It's not that he's missing anything at home. That's just the core of who he is. Historically, men have always sought to conquer other lands. Right or wrong, it's the core and the nature of what we do. So what we've tried to do, if we've tried to tame men and try to make them weaker, so that they could be more like women and that we can care and we can lean into our emotions. I see so many sassy men talking about, oh my God, I need to be centered with myself. I need to go and get a therapist. No, you need to redirect that energy and that anger because it ain't gonna never leave from you. That's called testosterone. That's the core of who you are. Why do you want to take away your core and make yourself weak? Being weak ain't never been strong for nobody. They keep telling you, oh, express your feelings. Tell me what you really thinking. That's what all women gonna do because that's what they do to their girlfriends. You want a girlfriend or you want a man? You want a girlfriend or you want a man? Tell me, lay on my... No, I'm never going to change who I was. I had a conversation with my wife the other day. Because women are naturally going to pine for you. They want more of your time. And I said, you know what? This is the honest to God truth on everything. I said, listen, let me tell you something, baby girl. And we was just chilling. It wasn't no argument or nothing like that. We was just kicking it. I said, you know what? I am who I am. My name is my name. I'm Anton. I'm never going to change the core of who I am. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm never going to stop working. I'm never going to stop conquering. I don't have a number anymore. And when I say a number, I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about people whose lives I can change. Accomplishments that I can reach. Heights that I can grow to. I've surpassed everything that I thought that I ever could do, and all it did was open up more opportunity. We got to reach lives. We got to change people. We got to run up the bag, and we got to absolutely change the world. You think that I'm going to stop? I was looking at that Judge Mathis situation, and that dude was going back to go and get his wife to chase her. When did it ever say that? It said the women had to be helpmeets. We're not here in order to make you feel good. I'm here to conquer the world, and then you become the beneficiary of my greatness. I don't care. I will leave it all behind in order to continue to, listen, my goal, I'm a one-track minded, focus. This is what God told me to do. This is what I'm going to accomplish. I make no compromises and no sacrifices whatsoever. I tried it. Honest to God, y'all, real talk, just being honest with y'all, I tried it. I tried to be the guy that was sensitive and said, hey, listen, let me tell you what it is that I think. It didn't work for me. I felt icky afterwards. I jumped in the shower immediately. I said, wash this demon off of me. It didn't make me feel good. I jumped in the shower immediately and I said, what kind of devil is this on me? Get this off my shoulder. Get this shit off my shoulder. That sensitive stuff, I felt icky. I felt so icky. Next thing you know, you're going to have me watching feminine movies. Color Purple up next. The Notebook. Oh, I'm so in touch with my feelings. I don't have it in me. It ain't in me. I ain't got that. I don't want it. I'm not interested. I am here to take over the world, and you are here in order to make sure that I do so and to help me in my quest. I'm not changing. I'm never going to change for nobody and nothing. And I'm willing to risk it all. I'm willing to do anything it takes in order to continue to push forward because this is what my purpose is. And my purpose has never been a woman. A woman is just a beneficiary. She's just the person that's going to be extra with me. I am who I am. And I don't understand where we got so sidetracked. I don't know where we came from. I don't know honest to God, I don't know where we sat here and we said, listen, let's be more sensitive and let's be more feminine. And when did men started embracing, because I see this narrative online all the time, listen, we all have masculine and feminine energies. If I see another man talking about his energies again, with an S, with all of these S's, we keep having energies, and your T's keep T'ing, and your S's is all over the place, even on words that ain't got no S on it. That's a feminine trait, dog. Pick up your balls. I want to sew and crochet. You want to what? I want to be a crocheter when I grow up. Okay, I got you. Hey, get the strap. Get the strap. Get the belt. We got to get this energy up off of him. We got to get this energy up off of him. And all I'm saying is we need masculinity back. Ain't no such thing as toxic masculinity because masculinity ain't toxic. Masculinity ain't toxic. I don't care what your mama said. Stop carrying your wife's purse everywhere. Stop carrying your wife's purse everywhere. She'll respect you more. Stop being weak. Stop even using the terms. Your words got power. The power of life and death is in your tongue. When you say stuff like that, when you say happy wife, happy life, when you do things just for women, that is a feminine trait. That is weakness. It is. It's weakness. And so I think we need our masculinity back. We keep talking about women are the determination for whether or not our elections is going to swing one way or another. Shut the hell up. It's not. It's not. It never was. It never should be, because women should be following their men. If you are a man in your household and your woman is voting differently than you are not a man. If your household is moving differently than you are not a man. If your woman tell you that y'all are in a partnership instead of you my husband, you my man, you are not a man. Your woman is voting differently than you? Y'all not on one accord? Y'all not equally yoked? What? Y'all wives keep getting on the internet embarrassing y'all. Whole nother subject. Whole nother subject. Shout out to all of the Dwayne Wades out here in the street. Y'all keep following them. And y'all think that just because these people got money that they automatically is some authority on how it is that you're supposed to raise your children. No, that means that they have a talent, but it doesn't mean that they necessarily manifested what it is that they're supposed to be doing as a man. They had a talent. It don't mean that they righteous. It don't mean that they right. All of these relationships, they show you eventually that they fall apart because they have no God in them. Ain't nothing in them. God ain't with these people. You think I care about a celebrity? I don't care nothing about no celebrity. It's time to take the throne back. It's time to take the throne back. Real men is up. Real men is up. Roland Martin, Steve Harvey, Umar Johnson, Ricky Smiley, D.L. Hughley, Dwayne Wade, all of these people, all of these boule, all of these sassy men, time is up for them. Time is up for them. We not following them off the cliff no more. They leading you. Let me tell you where they leading you to, and we're going to go over to the next subject. They're leading you to hell. You're going to bust hell wide open. And I know you're not a believer. I know you don't believe it, but you heard it here today. These sassy men is going to lead you directly to hell. They are going to bust hell wide open. The lake of fire, it enlargeth itself. All of y'all following these same people you think is cool, you dope fiends. Y'all walking druggies. You a dope fiend. You got to take X. You got to take pills in order to get yourself up. You addicted to porn. You're gonna bust hell wide open. Wide open. It's the reason why you can't even be productive, because you're so obsessed with something that ain't even add no value into your life. Fallout from the debate. What people are saying. Let's get into it. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Let's rock.
Now, Decision 2024, it is the day after what might be the one and only debate between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. Harris has asked for one more. Trump so far says no. Now, there were some big disagreements last night. But what we saw, will it change the minds of any voters? Our political reporter, Marianne Ahern, is here with more reaction today. Marianne?
Alex, the overwhelming view is Kamala Harris came better prepared. But will that translate into winning over undecideds? Here's the top issues they focused on. And we also spoke to suburban voters in Naperville who watched and if the debate changed any minds.
People can't go out and buy cereal or bacon or eggs or anything else.
The economy, one of the most talked about issues in the Trump-Harris debate.
Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment since the Great Depression.
And while Harris was seen overall as the debate winner, on the economy, political strategist Pete Giangreco saw missed opportunities on Trump's part.
You would have thought that all Donald Trump had to say was, things were better 4 years ago than they are now. He failed to get that message out.
Likewise, in suburban Naperville, debate viewers weigh in.
I want my money to work, and, the Democrats, they just give the money away. I don't like that. I think if
at the end of the day, similar to what this guy was just saying, you see the wrinkles in his face? You see why he got that neon shirt on and he got that see-through trucker's hat? You know why he got that shirt on? Is he probably a construction worker? Or he probably work in an industry where they have to prioritize safety. That means that he got to go and trade his time in for money every single day. And then at the end of the day, they take your money and they say that we're going to use the government's money. It's not. It's your tax dollars. You basically are paying for their salaries, and they're going to give it away to wars. They're going to give it away to migrants. They're going to give it away to social services. They're going to manage your money for you. You just got to give it to them. And so at the end of the day, when that debate was over and we got done with all of the vibes and stuff like that, you know what real people was talking about? Because I think the debate was on a Tuesday? It was on a Monday or a Tuesday? That means that people had to get up and go to work in the morning. And when you had to get up and go to work in the morning and your back was still hurting and your knee was killing you and you needed that hip replacement, and then you got your paycheck the next day on that Thursday, and you looked at how many taxes was coming out, the vibes wore off. The vibes wore off. People was like, you know what? After all of this talking, I'm tired, boss. And I don't mind working, but not for this. Not for this. And you gonna talk about how you gonna replace me? And I just got laid off from my job?
And, the Democrats, they just give the money away. I don't like that.
I think if Kamala does some of the things that she says she's going to do, she might be okay, but I still want Trump.
The other top issue discussed, abortion. After that, Trump focused on immigration, Harris on democracy. Political science professor Stephen Maynard Caliendo.
There's got to be so few people who don't know how they're going to vote at this point. But that's all it takes in a couple of key states.
The most watched debates were in 2016, Clinton versus Trump, 1980, Reagan versus Carter. Last night, there was an increase in viewers from the June Biden versus Trump debate. Northwestern Communications and Journalism professor Heather Hendershot on the biggest takeaway.
Everyone is saying that Harris did very well, and I have to agree with that. She prepared very well. She had a game plan. It was very easy to bait Donald Trump, and he took the bait, right?
Some viewers had debate watch rules, even from their own living rooms.
I watched with my husband. We promised not to talk to each other. We promised not to get upset, just to keep our mouths shut and listen.
And when it was over, how did you and your husband, did you agree?
No.
See? See what I'm saying? You know why? Because she liked Kamala Harris. And the husband probably was like, listen, ma'am, Social Security is dying. We on a fixed income.
Well, of course they did not agree. Although she did say they've been married for more than 60 years and they don't always agree, but they did watch together. Also noteworthy, those who time the amount of time spoken say that Trump actually had 5 more minutes than Harris.
You know what? Well, you know what happened when we watch programs in my house? It's a preach-a-mony session. I don't care if it's a movie. I don't care if it's a debate. I don't care what it is. We watch it. And then I'm going to teach a lesson afterwards. All right, so listen, this is the reason, this is what we're going to get out of this. And this is how we're going to move. No questions. What you mean you're going to set rules in my house? Set rules on who? Anyways, this is on MSNBC, and they were giving their insight on what they're experiencing as far as whether or not the needle are moving one way or another way as a result of the debate.
Jeremy, the headline of your latest New York Times piece is Pundits Say Harris Won the Debate. Undecided voters weren't so sure. Explain.
So a lot of undecided voters, and the few that there are, because let's be clear, like this election is still going to be decided on a knife's edge. All the polling confirms that. And I'm told even some of the private polling that the campaigns have been looking at
I'm gonna read
since
the Cash
the
Apps and the
debate
Super Chat shortly.
affirms that the needle has not moved much, even though it's very clear that Donald Trump lost this debate. What people are ultimately looking for, who are still on the fence, is a reason to go to the polls for Kamala Harris. I'm talking specifically about Trump curious or former diehard Trump supporters who are now uncomfortable with voting for him but might do it again. They want to see her sell herself. Why? What are you going to do for me, I think, is what we heard most.
Do you think it's about policy, or is it that they look at her and they say, gosh, she's a woman, she's a black woman, black and Indian woman. Is there a little just underlying discomfort with that because we've never seen a woman in that position before? And do they need just to see her more, to hear her more? Maybe not necessarily about specific.
You know what I think it is? I think that we're fighting our instincts. We have to fight our instincts to actually force ourselves to do something that we would normally do. And every time that I've done that in my life, I've always regretted it. Every single time that I go against my first thought or I fight what my instincts are telling me, and then I compromise my values in order to do something that somebody else asked me to do, I've always regretted it. I cannot think of one time where I didn't regret it. And I'm not saying don't take insight and information and to make an informed decision. I'm saying that we have to push ourselves to vote for her because we know that she's not the candidate that should be in office. And it is I almost believe that this is a test. This is a clear separation and a clear, decisive election to where you have completely different candidates. They have no similarities whatsoever. One is a black woman, one is a white man, tall white man, one is a short black woman. One exudes masculinity, one is telling you to go in, and it's okay for your sons to go in the girls' bathroom. One of them is saying that we need to go ahead and fix the economy and audit the federal government. The other one is saying that we need to give more money over to Israel, Ukraine, and Taiwan. The other one is saying that this NATO deal was bad because the United States of America is paying 85% into it, and that's the reason why we need to renegotiate. The other one is saying that we need to bring more nations together because togetherness is all that matters. The other one is saying, listen, we need to make sure that we give more back to the middle class by not taxing all of this and this and that and this, so on and so forth. And the other one is giving a message of you need to pay your fair share in the midst of all of this inflation and all of these layoffs that's going on. And it's a clear difference between the two. Clearly, it's a difference between the two. And what I'm seeing is that people are fighting their natural instinct to go with the person that they would normally go with because they're being influenced by the media, social media, and the people that are around them to only do it one way. Only do it one way. I can't fight that instinct. I got to go with it. I go with the thing that means the most. My whole life, I've always wondered, why am I voting for Democrats? Why am I voting for these people that I know don't have my best interests at heart? I know that this is going to be bad for my daughter and my future. I know that voting this thing in and pushing this legislation through is going to be the worst thing for us, and it's going to feminize our sons and make our daughters for the streets. And they keep on hitting y'all with this abortion talk, talking about women. Look at the programming that's happening in these messages that they're spewing to y'all at these campaign rallies and at the debates. Women should have the right to do what they want to do with their bodies. You mean mutilate your womb? You mean kill the thing that you had the opportunity to prevent to never come into this world in the first place if you didn't want it? You mean the thing that we have 100% control over before you ever get pregnant in the first place? We're arguing about that? We're arguing about the fact that you can choose who your baby father is. That you, and of course we have exceptions that they don't disagree with, including rape and incest, but you can basically choose to open up your legs and close your legs. And on top of that, you can choose to use any number of contraceptives or things that prevent you from getting pregnant, let alone getting an STD in the first place. And we're arguing about the right to do whatever it is that you want to do when all Trump is saying is that this shouldn't be in the hands of the federal government because the federal government is bloated with issues in the first place. This needs to go back to the states. You think I care about whether or not you do what it is that you do with your body? I look at women for the streets all day, every day. You know what I do? I walk right past them. You know why? Because I've never had the issue of trying to figure out whether or not I wanted to convince a woman to get an abortion or not. You know why? Because I've never been in a position to have a child out of wedlock in the first place. Somehow this issue never hurt me. It never crossed my mind. I had to force myself to become informed on the issue in the first place, and I never even spoke about it. Why? Because it wasn't something that ever affected me. You mean I had the choice of whether or not I wanted to exercise dick discipline and sleep with every woman in the world? And the majority of these women are having children with the same men in the first place? And we want to sit there with a Planned Parenthood van outside of the Democratic National Convention, and they're preaching to you demonic behavior. Demonic behavior. I've never had the conversation with my daughter about abortion. Never. We've had other conversations, what sex is, what responsibility is, marry before you carry, all of this other stuff. It's not even an issue that I've ever had in my family, ever. Never had that issue in my family before in my life. It's not even an issue that we would be concerned about.
Policy, but just to see her in a presidential genre, atmosphere, milieu, I don't think I'm using all those words incorrectly, to make him feel more comfortable with voting for her to be president of the United States. We're not talking about race that much in this debate, at least not outwardly. She's not talking about it. She's not talking about how she's a woman. But our voters may be feeling it.
I think that she knows that in order to reach centrist voters, swing voters, she shouldn't talk about what she is in terms of her gender and her race. She should talk about what she's going to do as president. And that's why she needs to be out there more. To your question, people need to feel like they can trust her to govern, that she can get things through Congress. I mean, the thing that I heard most in talking to these voters is they want Washington to not be broken anymore. So for the next president to be able to deliver for them, which is why the debate wasn't such a selling point, because what Kamala Harris did really well, by the way, was talk about how she sees a disastrous second Trump term. She didn't talk a whole lot about what a Harris term was going to be.
Oh, Donald Trump says there will be no third debate. He's just put that up on his social media, saying that he doesn't need to. He's a prize fighter and he won. Without another debate, and by the way, that debate reached 70 million people, a whole lot of people. How does she do that? Is it more TV news interviews? Please say yes.
I would hope so. I mean, not just for our purposes.
Editorial board interview.
Right, but she has to get out there. The one attack that has been effective that Trump and his allies have leveled at her is that she's been hiding and she's afraid to answer questions. The rest of the stuff, Comrade Kamala, crazy Kamala, it's nonsense. It's not working. And Trump knows that, or else he'd be repeating it ad nauseum. We'll see if he does another debate, but in the absence of that, it's actually a good thing for her, because she can go out there and basically continue to talk to voters on her terms, which is the most kind of controlled way to do it.
The campaign's it says they're going to be putting her out in front of a lot of voters in smaller venues. They're also going to be putting her out in front of local news in various swing states. Remember, this is going to come down to not necessarily a national audience, but a couple of counties in a few swing states.
Yeah.
All right, Jeremy Peters, really good to have you. Thanks for showing up in person.
So that is the general sentiment from the fallout from the debate. I'm curious as to what you guys think about that. Make sure you let me know inside of the comments. Let me read some of these super chats, and we're going to go over to the next portion of the show. Fukari Ferry says, my dad bought my first car. I sassed him, and he took it away. 1 year later, I paid cash for my first car, then financed my first Altima, which was stolen. That awesome, huh? Matthew Adams says, shout out to you. I appreciate you, Matthew Adams. Drunken Sailor Podcast says, for America to be great again, we need the men of God to stand up or to stay up. Too many have sold their soul, and too many are living for this world and not the kingdom. Dre Harrison is in the building, says, true freedom in this country is the ability to say no, and the best way to achieve this is to get to the bag. It's called FU money. That's a fact. Alvin S. says, respect AD, you preaching real good. We had church today. Ryan J., a lot of y'all say that y'all not believers, but we already had church today. Look at Tim Walz. That dude is full of soy and hadn't had one interview. I can't imagine Walz being VP is one of those feminine men. Imagine him being president if anything was to happen. That's wild. Aaron 218 says, it's the reason why 144,000 children of God are men. How can you be HBCU and pledge Greek? AD, I told you these tree houses are under construction and the air mattresses on the way. In case these simps don't fall in line November 5th, all for the sake of box. Turd Berg Ferd says he shouldn't do another debate because all it will be is a course of correction for her since she didn't even answer the questions. Cap that she was favorable at the end. I'm hearing undecided is going Trump. Podcast Next says, thank you for teaching me about a brokerage account. I just started my Charles Schwab Getting This Stock Club. Y'all not a part of the Bag Chasers and the Patreon. The link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. We do some awesome things. Bam Bam Lynch says, my in-laws say I'm misogynistic and homophobic. All they saying is that you're a real man. Steven Slayer 1 says, breaking news, ABC gave Kamala the questions before and agreed to only fact check Trump, say a whistleblower. I'll look into that. Ash says, AD facts, the choice is very clear between Trump and Kamala. God is watching. L. Forbes says, sent you an email about Whitley Yates. She's awesome and be cooking. Happy Friday. Thank you, L4. I'll check it out. Tech Coach Ralph says most people will want to avoid the combo you had yesterday with every single member of their family and their relatives. Easy Money says women are not built to lead men. Only a simp would want that. J-Lo on the Track Video Production says women are not built to lead men. Only a simp would say that or would want that. King of Kings says I'll have those N-words voting Democrat for the next 200 years. LBJ. Shout out to you. Thank you to everybody that continues to support the platform. I love you and I appreciate you. Let's dig into this a little bit real quick before we move over to the next subject. The Ohio governor is now sending troops and money over to Springfield, Ohio, because of the surge of migrants that are going into that city. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's rock out.
All right, breaking now at 3, Ohio Governor Mike DeWine announcing state support for the city of Springfield, where a recent influx of Haitian migrants in Clark County creating healthcare and public safety strains. It's actually making national headlines. The governor breaking down the new support right now. Let's listen in.
Dramatic increase in the migrant children in Springfield schools, resulting in an increased need for more English as a second language services in these schools. Let me talk about the safety on the roads. Again, there aren't that many cars in Haiti. Most people don't drive. So a good number of the individuals who come to the United States have not driven before. And they certainly do not have an Ohio license, but they have not driven, many of them. And those who have driven, have not gone through really any formal courses. This has created a great deal of concern among people who are on the road in Springfield and in Clark County. There's really not a familiarity also with the laws of the United States. This, again, creates a very significant problem for the Springfield community. Next is the housing problem. We're seeing people who are bunched together in homes. One of the other results that we have seen is that the cost of rent is up. Supply and demand, it means it's up for everyone. So you can have someone who has been renting in Springfield for many years and who has to deal with that high rent. Let me talk for a moment about what we are doing and have been doing. In addressing these considerable challenges, we've been consulting really for a number of months, many months, with Mayor Rue, with the county commissioners, with the health director, school officials, the superintendent, other individuals. We've had meetings at the governor's residence where we pulled people together from Clark County to discuss the problems.
All right, you're listening to Governor Mike DeWine addressing an influx of Haitian migrants in Springfield. That's south of us between Columbus and Dayton. He's talking about issues happening on the roads, rent, schools. If you'd like to continue listening to the...
I think I might head to Springfield this weekend and see what's really happening on the ground. I don't think I got nothing going on this weekend that I have to be really here in Detroit for. I'm not even sure if there's any events in Detroit that's happening outside of maybe some baseball games. I might head to Springfield. We might head to Springfield this weekend just to see what's happening on the ground and find out for ourselves. I want to know and I want to see for myself if the majority of the people over there are migrants, if 1/3 of them are migrants, and I want to see what's really happening and how it's affecting this small town. Let me see how far it is. I might even be, I know I can't catch a flight. Let me go and look at this real quick. Before we go over to the next thing, I just want to see for myself. I got to see. I got to know. I got to know what's happening on the ground. I might just go ahead and hit it. I think my daughter's going out of town anyway, so there's no reason why I shouldn't be able to see for myself. I got to do a whole stop. Don't got no direct flights to Springfield? Nah, we ain't doing that. It's a 3-hour drive for Springfield. Past Cleveland. Past Toledo. Near Columbus before you get to Cincinnati. So it's in between Columbus and Cincinnati, or Columbus and Dayton. And then Cincinnati is a little bit further down. All right, we'll see. I'll let y'all know. I will let y'all know. But let me pivot over and see what the residents are saying.
You look at Springfield, Ohio. You look at Aurora in Colorado. They are taking over the towns. They're taking over buildings. They're going in violently. These are the people that she and Biden led into our country, and they're destroying our country. They're dangerous. They're at the highest level of criminality, and we have to get them out. We have to get them out fast.
All right, so you see at this week's debate, former President Donald Trump sounding the alarm on American citizens struggling under the weight of people flowing into our nation from other countries. One city in particular, Springfield, Ohio, is in the national spotlight right now over the massive spike of Haitian migrants, some 15,000 who have arrived under the Biden-Harris Temporary Protected Status Program, or TPS. That makes them, through the program, legally here. And again, I want to mention the number, small town, 15,000 have come into the city of just 60,000 in the past few years. Ohio Governor DeWine actually has announced in the last 24 hours that he is going to send $2.5 million along with a boost in law enforcement on the ground to help that community manage an untenable situation right now. He also explained how the migrant influx is hurting Springfield.
These dramatic surges impact every citizen in the community, every citizen. The moms who have to wait hours in a waiting room with a sick child, everyone who drives on the streets, and it affects children who go to school in more crowded classrooms. This is, a very unprecedented situation in Springfield. We wish we had some help from the federal government.
Republican government.
So all of these people are asking for help from the very people that's in the administration right now that's also running for another term in Kamala Harris. So they're asking for help. Biden is running around with Trump hats on. Kamala Harris is on her tour in order to try to convince women to vote based off of their emotions. And Springfield, Ohio is one of the many towns that need help. The federal government has no help whatsoever. They have to send state funds down there along with troops to police them. And now it's having a residual effect on every single thing that you're touching. From jobs, to roads, to safety, to policing, to homelessness, to spikes in rent. And so the entire community is being 100% compromised, and nobody got no answers for it. But they just skipped right over that question over in the debate when Trump brought it up.
Governor DeWine there explaining why they need federal.
Oh, wait a minute. Is the likes anemic? Our streets, is the likes anemic? Come on, man. With the type of show that we got over 4,200 people in here on YouTube by itself, and the likes is that low. Come on, what we doing, y'all? Let's get it together.
Government help. It's a federal program that put them in this position. Now, the people who live there were at a city commission meeting this week, including one woman who lost her mother-in-law because of the situation. Let's watch this together.
On December 1st, I received a phone call that changed my life forever. She was collecting her trash can from her driveway when a car struck and killed her instantly. A Haitian immigrant was allegedly driving recklessly when he struck and killed her. I am paralyzed with anxiety when I'm getting my children out of the car in any parking lot, walking on any sidewalk, and driving on any road in this town.
This issue is not a Republican or Democratic issue. This is an American issue. This is an Ohio issue, and this is a Springfield issue. We, the people, have the ability to ensure our streets are safe.
Schools are overcrowded.
Our education system has went in the trash. Housing is another issue. The overcrowding in housing. My son had to give me his house and move to another house because I can't find housing.
Is there a cutoff point that, I mean, for the population here? Or, I mean, I feel like there should be a no vacancy sign right now, and people are still coming in.
This is crazy. This is insane of what is happening in our federal government and what's happening on the ground level. And nobody is going to care until it starts to affect their own town. And let's best believe it is going to spread across the entire United States of America. Why is nobody concerned about what is happening on the ground? But we still talking about vibes and energies.
I want to make a point really clear here. This isn't exactly the same thing that other cities far from the border are seeing, where, you know, Democrats have accused Republicans for busing people in. This is through a Biden-Harris administration. Remember, he put her in charge of the border. A Biden-Harris administration special program for Haitians at this time. So they are looked upon now as being legally in our communities.
Okay, can somebody explain something to me, because I'm a little slow. Again, my transcripts say that I am a lifetime C student. And I am looking to go back to school this winter. So that should be interesting, because I need some more things to challenge me, and I want to add some more things to my resume, my personal resume of accomplishments that I've done in this lifetime. And I do plan on paying out of pocket, because I don't need no student loans. But somebody explain this to this C student for me real quick, all right? So Springfield, Ohio is all the way up at the top of the map, towards the top of the map right before you get to Michigan, all right? So how are they getting to Ohio? Forget Springfield. How are they getting to Ohio? Can somebody tell me? Can somebody tell me how they got all the way from Haiti, skipped over Florida, skipped over Georgia, skipped over Nashville, Kentucky, didn't go to Chicago this time, and then they landed in Springfield, Ohio, in a small town. They didn't go to Cleveland. They didn't go to Cincinnati. They didn't go to Columbus. They didn't even want to see where LeBron James used to live in Akron. How did they end up in Ohio is what I'm asking. Who paid for this? Who paid for this? I said the Underground Railroad. The Underground Railroad got them in. Can anybody? I know I'm at. Look, you know why my job is here. You know why this show is so popular. I'm gonna tell you why it's so popular. It's because we ask the questions that us regular folk, because I grew up in Detroit, I ain't bougie and all of that. We ask the questions that regular folk be afraid to ask. You know how when you're in a classroom, or let's just say when you go to college or something and you don't want to sound stupid, so you don't really want to raise your hand and interrupt the class because you know that your question is going to be a little bit under what they think the standard of the question is. But really, all of the students that's in the class is thinking the same thing, just don't nobody want to sound stupid. So 95% of the classroom is all confused, but don't nobody want to raise their hand because everybody is presenting themselves as though they know what the teacher is talking about, right? And then it take that one student that be like, sorry, can you hold on? Because I don't get it. I wasn't taught this in my high school. And then everybody be like, yeah. We was thinking the same thing. This is why the show is so popular, okay? The show is popular because we ask the basic questions from what regular, everyday folk want to know, all right? Geography wasn't really my thing. But since I started flying all over the country and the state, it's a thing now for me. So what I'm asking is this. How did they get from Haiti and skipped over every other state and ended up in little old Springfield that only had 40,000 people there? Who gave the memo? Who said, hey, man, Springfield is a spot, bro? Springfield is a spot. That's all I want to know. Can somebody answer that basic question for me? Why Springfield And why did they just take over Springfield? Anybody? Anybody? Nobody? Nobody can answer that question? Somebody call the federal government and ask that question for me. I'm just curious. That's why that's why they rock with me, because I just ask, I say the quiet part out loud. Hey, teach. Why Springfield? Why are we going to Springfield? Is it anything? Even as Americans, we had never even heard of Springfield. How did the Haitians find out about Springfield, but we didn't know about it? Y'all won't even visit them of these towns. Y'all don't be knowing nothing about these towns. Y'all never paid attention to geography. Y'all was over there trying to holler at the girl. Hey, baby, would you go with me? Yes or no? Oh, you going with Mike to the prom? And you was hating on Mike. Man, Mike don't even like you. He already talking to another girl anyway. Remember how you was hating on Mike? Because Mike, she said that she was waiting on Mike to ask her to the prom, and you was trying to, man, Mike don't even, whatever, man. That's why I don't even like these hoes, man. I'm so tired. Remember you was hating on Mike? And you should have been paying attention in geography class? Anton, what did I just say? We didn't even know nothing about Springfield. We don't be knowing nothing about none of these cities. You know what I'm saying? But somehow they found Springfield. They said, we taking over. It's crazy, bro.
Particularly Springfield, Ohio. Now, that's important to note, because if
y'all said they found it because of The Simpsons? Oh, don't tell me they went to Springfield because of The Simpsons.
Side starts pointing fingers at the other, Democrats to Republicans.
So they was watching that cartoon and they said, hey, it look like Springfield is the place to go. Jesus Christ.
They have. Don't you dare let them get away with they were bused there, because they weren't. Many of them want to stay in that community. They have jobs. But the collision of population in Springfield and people who are not, in many cases, licensed to drive, and that was an issue in that woman's mother's case. Those are the things that are coming up, a lack of resources, that sort of thing. Republican Congresswoman Kat Cammack of Florida, member of the Energy and Agricultural Committees, is also on the select subcommittees on the committee on the weaponization of the federal government. Congresswoman Cammack, I want to first of all, because we've been talking about this issue of immigration for so long, set the table, if you will, for us of why this now is so important to so many Americans in different positions across the country.
Well, Harris, you've heard me say it so many times before. Every town and city, every state in the country is a border town because of the open border policies. But as you rightfully pointed out, this is a program that the Harris-Biden regime have stood up, implemented, and are now setting up across the country. And just to give you some perspective about why this is so critical, that we're pointing out that this is an authorized legal program under this administration, it's that they're not just putting them in schools and putting more pressure on all the healthcare systems and community services. There are cities, and this is so scary. They are not only giving them these services, they're now giving them jobs as law enforcement officers. That is why I have.
What? No way. I didn't just hear what I thought I heard. Hold on.
Them these services, they're now giving them jobs as law enforcement officers. That is why I had to drop a bill last week, the Citizen Only Policing Act, because they are now allowing people under these programs to serve as gun-carrying sworn officers of the law. Keep in mind, these people are in the country illegally, and that is what is so crazy to me.
No
and
way.
Another fine point to put on this that everyone should be upset about is that collectively, we spend $42 billion of taxpayer money every single year on people in this country who have been brought in through the Harris-Biden regime or have crossed the border illegally. As a comparison, homeless veterans only get $3 billion.
Wow. Yeah, they spending $42 billion and they letting them become police officers? And y'all voting for this administration? And they don't care because they know that y'all still gonna vote for them? Oh, no way. No way. Now I got to do some research. Y'all got me putting my journalism hat on. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. I am blown away. I am 100% blown away. That is crazy. All right. Okay. I see we got work to do this weekend. Let me read some of the super chats. Ryan J says, I bet if Kamala loses, she won't take accountability like all modern women. Brock is in the building, says, I believe prayer changes things. You prayed over a hurricane a few days ago and it failed to reach category 2 strength per projection. Listen, where 2 or 3 are gathered in his name, there he is in the midst of thee. Don't tell me that prayer don't work. I know God hear me. DeWine is a horrible governor. He basically a liberal disguised as a Republican. Yeah, I know about that. I know about him. I've done some research. J-Lo on the track video production says, 80, my super chat was read as someone else's. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Shout out to J-Lo on the track. I'm sorry, big dog. Ryan J says, I am sickened that illegals are getting $5,000 in food stamps and $5K in money per month in NYC. That should be given to Americans, not illegals. High Tolerance says, troops hit the ground in Ohio, but not in Colorado. Winnie Minnie Farm, stay prepped up, says, please take a trip to Springfield. Mr. Anton, you the most trusted, real deal man of God that tells the hard truths that people need to know without fear or favor. God bless you. Oh, okay. Now y'all putting the battery in my back. Now y'all telling me I got to show up. Mr. Consistent, always running it up, showing love. Shout out to you. Divine Robertson says, I live in Columbus, Ohio. We have over 150,000 here. They're nasty, rude. They can't drive, and some of them are eating. Wow. So we might have to make a couple stops. Regarding animals, check out Haitian Voodoo. Brian Baker, I appreciate you. Ross B says illegals are definitely here in Atlanta working and driving without licenses or ID. Also getting apartments in the hoods. This is crazy, bro. Divine says Mike DeWine has a connection with an organization that provides aid to Haiti. Elsa Turner says, heard on the radio the mayor has taken several trips to Haiti and is receiving kickbacks from Haiti. Can't find it online though. Titan Rising says they flew them in and they don't want to vote for the one person who could stop. I have to go down there and ask them, hey, how did y'all get here? I might need a translator though. C.O. Jacob says Rick Ross told him. Libra Justice says they go to these small towns because politicians feel there won't be any news coverage. Chadford Moore says, I know you lying about the peace officer part. Be Easy 333 says, so when Trump says radical left, he ain't lying. Ain't lying at all. K Dizzle says, if Dems win, maybe I'll sneak over from Canada as a refugee. Kung Fu Hustler says, foreign mercenaries in the police is crazy work. It's been crazy. Mr. Joe in the building. Worst part about this is that liberals are going to dispute this. Jake Smooth Production says, 80, I sent this video to my sister. She don't have any idea of what's going on. Keyshawn White says, 80, they don't care until it's in their town, and it's going to be too late by then. Thank y'all for hitting the like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Let's get into the final portion of the show, which I want to talk about. We're going to go in this on a happy note, hopefully, because I haven't seen the video yet. But it's a woman or a couple that's living on a combined $268,000 a year near Washington, D.C. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's get to it.
I don't know if I ever feel that I will make it, right? Because once you feel you achieved something, you get settled and then life becomes boring. So I always like to get better and better and achieve for the best. My name is Cristina Telotrillo. I'm 38 years old. I live in Bethesda, Maryland, in the suburbs of Washington, D.C. I live with my husband, Sebastian, and my 5-year-old son, Leo. And in 2023, my husband and I made about $268,000.
A lot of money. It's a lot of money. Let's see how they spending it. All of this extra music, I don't need it. Wait a minute, let me back up. Senior economist at the U.S. Census Bureau, and her husband is an economist at an international financial institution. So they're both equally yoked. They both about that bag. They both are economists, which means that it's probably a good way for them to manage their money. And she teaches as a professor.
In 2023, my personal income was $162,000 for working at the U.S. Census Bureau and teaching at the University of Maryland.
And they also made $6,000 from a rental property that they own in D.C. So she made 160. He must make 108. Christina purchased 3 additional rental properties by herself.
Me and my husband split expenses like 50-50. We've been doing that since we got married 7 years ago. My parents were very frugal, I think because of their...
Can we stop there for a second? Can we stop there for a second? Her and her husband, that's been married for over 7 years, split expenses 50-50. Every single woman from other cultures that I see on here are willing to go 50-50 with a guy instead of doing 100% by herself. Every single woman that I see jump on these platforms say that they are going 50-50 with the man that they are married to or they are in a relationship with, and they have no problem with it. I'm trying to understand why. I'm trying to understand why. What do y'all think about that? What do y'all think? I'm not going to give an opinion. I've given too much of my opinion today anyway. What do y'all think about the fact that a lot of these women that are getting married are willing to go 50-50 with the men? And they high earners. They're high earners. They're productive. They make a lot of money. They make 6 figures. And they just be like, you know what, Ann, I'm going 50-50 with my man, and this is what we're doing together.
Upbringing, they were kind of lower middle class. So I'm very into savings, very into investing. I'm very worried into not having a lot of big expenditures. So in that way, I'm the same as them. But also I'm different as them that I like to have some nice stuff. So I love to cook, and I love to cook healthy food. I think it's a really great way to experience family when you sit at the table together with a home-cooked meal. My biggest expense outside of the necessary is probably Uber Eats.
Uber Eats. Hold on, let me go back and look at this budget. I missed the budget part. All right, so they spend $5,300 in housing and utilities. Now, I'm wondering if that is all related to, okay, so let me look at the little things. Mortgage, Wi-Fi, quarterly bill, and wow, they spent $5,300 in a mortgage and utilities? That's a lot of money. But they splitting the cost, so I guess that they managing it. Savings and investments, $2,300 a month. Child care, $1,900 a month. They pay $2,000 a month in child care. They expenses is insane. Food, $1,900 a month. $2,000 a month in food. $2,000. All right, I don't know what kind of economist this is, but this is crazy. $2,000 a month in child care, $2,000 a month in food, and only $2,300 a month in savings and investments. What kind of economist is this? $1,200 in discretionary. Insurance, $653. Memberships and subscriptions, $339. Medical expenses, $339. Transportation, $185. The only thing that they got going for them is that they don't have no car that they got to pay for, no car note. And then their phone is $141. This is a crazy budget. Why I say gym membership and streaming services? Where the gym membership part at? Anyways, that's a crazy budget. I see at least $6,000 right there that you can save a whole bunch of money on. It's a lot of money.
So I need weight. My biggest I like to eat good food, and if I don't cook, I don't have time to cook, I splurge and order a really good ceviche or something Latin American. I like to spend money in exercise equipment. I have a pretty nice bike that I use over the weekend. So everything related to exercise, it's a no-brainer for me. If I find the utility for it, I go and get it.
Why do they have a 5-bedroom house for only 3 people? Because they only using 2 bedrooms. This is stupid. They got a 5-bedroom house, and that house looked pretty basic too. They got a 5-bedroom house and they bought it for $1.2 million. Well, they got a combined income.
Our mortgage payment for the house that we live in is about $4,700.
Oh! All right, so let me make a point right now. So here's my thing, and I tell people this all the time. The biggest flex is having a paid off house. That is going to be one of your biggest flexes in your lifetime. If you can eliminate your mortgage and eliminate a lot of the costs that's associated with lifestyle, paid off car, paid off crib, you're going to be able to do so much with your money. The biggest enemy of wealth is debt. And I guarantee you that the majority of the money that they paying is going towards interest payments for the mortgage. Again, it's not a flex just to get an expensive house. I don't believe in that. I think that the biggest flex, because also with an expensive house come more expensive property taxes, so they're going to pay crazy amount of money on that. More expensive insurance, also on that, and the maintenance costs are going to be more. That's the part that they're not telling you. You don't never really own your house because you still got to pay the property taxes, and the property taxes is based off of the assessed value of the house itself, which is what they use inside of y'all tax offices in order to get your schools funded and fund the federal government, fund the local government, and all of that. If you can get you a nice, anywhere from $200,000 to $450,000 house, and you can really dedicate yourself to paying it off, biggest flex ever. Because you're going to have lower property taxes, lower maintenance, and you're not going to have to give interest payments over to the bank. We've programmed ourselves to really embrace sending free money over to the bank. Even if you're a millionaire, if you're a DECA millionaire, living in a $250,000, $300,000, $400,000 house, now if you want to, then you can get a bigger house if you can pay it off. But I think that the biggest flex is always to have a paid off house versus having an expensive house that you're paying a mortgage for, even if you can afford it.
We have a pretty big home, pretty busy schedule, so that's a task that we decided to outsource. We didn't have a cleaning lady before, but it has saved us a lot of issues between me and my husband. I think it's money well spent.
They got a cleaning lady.
I think childcare is so expensive, and very happy to be done with childcare. My son is now 5.
Somebody said, good luck finding a $250,000 house. It's not hard. Y'all just don't want to go to the states that got them. Y'all want to live in Miami, DC, New York, Los Angeles. Y'all want to live in the most expensive places. And so you saying, good luck finding the 200. No, you can find them. They out there. I promise you they're out there. And they not in the hood either. They're out there. And the very ones that's out there, I guarantee you those homes in less than 5 years is going to be $500,000.
In kindergarten, so even though I don't have to pay for his 9 to 3 education, I still have to pay for aftercare. It's expected to be $700 per month.
That's one of the things about okay, look, I think that career women look for careers because a lot of times they think that the career is to define them. It gives them a sense of purpose. So the majority of their money that they're making, they wind up giving it over to Uber Eats because they don't want to cook no more. They wind up spending a bunch of money on daycare and after child care, which is to the tune of, it looks like $2,600 a month. And so now, basically, everything that she's working for is to sustain what she would normally be doing if she was just a housewife. And I'm not mad at it. I think it's fine as long as they're not doing nothing to nobody else. But again, look at all of the costs and the additional expenses that you're doing. And then you also going into a higher tax bracket and they want to be able to sustain his lifestyle. And so if you just think about what it is that they're doing, that's why they only able to put up $2,300 a month in savings. And she got to work a second job. You got to remember, she's an economist for the U.S. Census Bureau. And then she's also teaching at night in order to sustain her lifestyle. Don't let the smooth taste fool you. This woman is working her butt off. She's working her butt off to sustain the lifestyle that she normally wouldn't have to if she didn't have to do that. She would just be able to be a stay-at-home mom. She could cook, whatever. But she want to do Uber Eats. She want to do daycare. She want to do after-school care. She want to do all of this stuff. And so what she's doing is she's leveraging all of these other people to raise her son for her. And the problem with that, and this is one of the things that I didn't want, I didn't want them instilling the values into my daughter that I wanted instilled myself. The daycare is raising your kid. I remember a lot of these latchkey kids. When we was coming up, they had latchkey kids. And those was kids that their parents were still working after work and they couldn't pick them up directly when school let out. And so they would go to latchkey. And in latchkey, whoever it was watching your kids, they were the ones that were instilling the value in your children. And that's why we got the people that we got today. They're latchkey kids. There's no core values. There's no traditionalism anymore. And so we always only looking at the bag, but we not looking at what the bag, chasing the bag, is costing us as far as chasing money. Sometimes it's a net negative, not only with the amount of money that you got to spend in order to work, but it's also a net negative in how your children are affected by other people instilling certain values in your children. Just telling you.
I think I'm less risk-averse than my husband. He's much more conservative with his money. He puts the money in a bank, in a savings account, and he's happy with that. I'm more into, okay, my savings account gives me 5%. How can I make more money, right? So I'm trying to look it for
she
the
operate
next
just like a man. She thinking just like a man, but then she got women tendencies.
thing. I don't expect to pay for my kid's college. I hope that he gets a scholarship or a loan.
Making $268,000 a year talking about I hope my kid get a scholarship. I don't expect to pay for my kid's college. Making $268,000 a year combined, living in a $1.2 million house and saying that I hope I don't have to pay for my kid to go to college. That's crazy, man. And she an economist.
That he can pay his own college. I would not like my kid to feel that he has enough safety net so he doesn't make an effort to succeed in the world. I want him to fight for the things that he wants, and maybe I'll save some money so he can get a decent
And she not having another kid because she got to put her career first.
inheritance, but not a lot. I expect him to get his own money, get his own saving, because that's the way that life works, right? So when we go to the store, I tell my kid that I can buy him a toy or something that he wants.
Let me tell you what because I see somebody saying that they agree with her. Let me tell you what my strategy is. My strategy is if she gets a scholarship, cool, but she will never depend on the federal government in order for her to be able to go to school and continue her education. That's already taken care of. The money for her to go to school was already put up. Before I ever bought a nicer car, before I ever started doing what it is that I wanted to do, the first thing that I did was make sure that my daughter was taken care of so that she would never have to beg Biden or Kamala Harris for student loan forgiveness. Ever. Ever. I don't live on hope. That's what Obama sold you. That's what Kamala Harris is selling you. I don't live on hope. That's not what we do over here. If we get it, cool. If we don't care because we never expected it in the first place. I don't operate on hope. I operate on real life circumstances, and I'm a realist. Anyways, this is silly. These women is crazy, and she an economist. I want to acknowledge our streets also from yesterday sent me a Venmo. I want to appreciate you on that. Let me read that real quick. Always got to show love to my people. Shout out to our street says, thank you for being so valuable. You opened my eyes in so many ways. Thank you, Lord. I appreciate you. Also want to acknowledge one other thing. I got to acknowledge the PayPal because a lot of y'all be showing love on PayPal also. Give me a second. PayPal be throwing up all of these advertisements. Thank you to Skylar. I'm sorry. Thank you to Kevin Cunningham, says blessings and salute. I'm watching from the back of the class, paying my late fee, putting it on the wood. Grade A game as usual. Keep your foot on their necks for the good. Shout out to my rich friend. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. And he also said, love the content. Keep the plane flying high. And let me know how to get a coaching call with you. Just email me. Email me at antondaniels413@gmail.com, and I'm going to get y'all set up. I'm going to get y'all taken care of, all right? Let me read a couple more things. I'm going to go through the super chats, and then I definitely want to keep y'all, get y'all up out of here because I'm not trying to hold y'all for a long time. Rand Wilson says, OnlyFans creators made $6.6 billion versus $4.9 billion for NBA players in 2023. Thank you, my friend, for that insight. I also want to acknowledge the super chat. Shout out to my dog. Talks with 2K says Mississippi will take some of them illegally women. Shout out to 2K in the building, killing it. K says, good morning, AD. Yes, try Casano's Pizza when you get there. Shout out to the family from Springfield. All right, Casano's Pizza. Let me take a picture of that because I don't be remembering all the time. I need to bring my security with me to Springfield. Appreciate you. Young Gladiator in the building says, sound like passport bros are about to get a discount. They ain't even got to leave the United States. Brent Moore says, I'm hitting my bop when that music play. John Legend is from Springfield. I don't like John Legend. I think he is a sucker. He performed at the DNC too. Viper Venom says, not the Asian women going 50-50. Let a black woman tell it. This never happens ever. This must be AI. They don't know. A-Man01 says, those 50-50 women are absolutely correct, but the haters will call them pick-me's. Roe Ventures is in the building and says, my wife is an elementary school principal. She says 40% out of the 700 students are from different countries, and it is happening. This is so crazy. Ken J says, husband got to be hot with all of the spending that she does. You see he ain't do no interviews. Jason Harrison says $200,000 to $400,000. $450,000 home is a 1 or 2 bedroom condo in DMV. Unless you're in the trenches, it's different out here. Why do y'all feel like y'all got to stay where y'all at? Y'all move out to everywhere y'all want to be, but y'all got to feel like y'all got to stay where y'all at. Shout out to Brown Ocean, looking beautiful. Says, hey, D, love your show, man. I'm going to send you an email showing you how to get to bag every morning. NYC. All right, send me that email. Jamal Fowler. Shout out to Jamal Fowler. I appreciate you, big dog. Joe Q, 66, says, both my sons got GI Bills, paid to go to school. My whole family are veterans, stay-at-home mom. Only worked when I had to, 39 years married. Let me get a round of applause for my people. Tangeray 10 Gin and Tonic says, I fell off, had money during COVID, but tricked it for the gram. Now I need to take people's stuff. Who next? T Grizzly. Shout out to you. I appreciate you. All right, y'all. Listen, it was an incredible show. I kept y'all 7 minutes, 8 minutes longer than I was supposed to. But I think that it was worth it. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I think that y'all are the greatest audience on earth. Can't wait to see y'all on After Hours tonight. Stay focused, my friends.